All right, again, thank you all for coming, ladies and gentlemen. We have an exciting panel tonight, I think, I hope. And we really couldn't have asked for a better format than at this year's Necronomicon. The timing was absolutely perfect. Well, I'm Dr. John Dean, Brown University. Went to the introduction. And if we could all introduce ourselves.
I'm Bob Price. I've edited a bunch of Lovecraftian anthologies, also a biblical scholar and scholar of early Christianity, and deals with manuscript finds and so forth. So needless to say, I'm interested in this sort of thing.
My name's Edward Berglund, and I'm a writer and editor. I had an anthology from Chaosium. They're supposed to bring out another one.
I'm Daniel Harms. I'm the author of the Encyclopedia Cthulhiana. I'm also the co-author of the only book on the Necronomicon phenomenon, the Necronomicon Files.
My name is Scott Glancy. I'm president of Thomas County Corporation. We're a publisher of Cthulhu-related materials, and we have interest in seeing that this work be printed into the mainstream.
My name is Tom Ring. I'm a writer and an historian. I'm the translator of the recently published King in Yellow.
I'm John Times, the editor-in-chief for Pagan Publishing and Armitage House, publishers of small press Lovecraftiana.
And what we've all been hinting at, and not explicitly stating as yet, to build the suspense, is that recently at an estate sale, I've come across a discovery of several of Lovecraft's papers that were previously undiscovered. Amongst them were a few books from his grandfather's library, and amongst those was what very well appears to be a genuine Necronomicon. The title bears Dr. John Dee's signature. The handwriting checks out. We've given it a pretty thorough analysis so far. We've got some more comprehensive tests going. But by all accounts, this checks out as a 16th century tome. And in brief, it appears to be the Necronomicon. Wow. So, yeah, kind of stuff.
So how do you know that this is an authentic manuscript? How do you know somebody just didn't, I mean, even if the paper is authentic, I mean, you can think about something like the Voynich manuscript. If people said that was, obviously, the numbering was in the hand of John Dee, and then they went back later, and nobody's really sure. I mean,
right.
How can you be sure of this?
Well, it's all circumstantial, of course, but the paper checks out the ink, the components of the ink, for that matter, check out the type of binding, the material, the illustrations, the prints, everything. Whether or not, there really just isn't. It's a 16th century tome. It says it's the Necronomicon. The occult text, certainly, yeah. And there are I'll say fanatics who will call it evil, but in the end, it's just an occult text.
Well, even if it is just an occult text, it can bring people to a violent reaction. I've seen this in the people I've dealt with this book. I've received threats and all sorts of other problems and attacks on the website. I mean, people are. This book really gets people excited, and
Practically sells itself.
Well,
we're not going to have to spend a dime on advertising once we get this thing into print.
Yeah,
Word of mouth will pass this thing around the globe through the internet.
And really, the murders are great publicity.
Exactly.
Even previous publishings have been linked to, like you said, fanatics and murderers. And are you concerned at all about? Specifically, there's a case out in Las Vegas of a woman who was accused of shooting her husband and killing her mother. And they found copies of the Necronomicon.
The Simon Necronomicon, I mean, the Simon Necronomicon is kind of a joke, but even in the preface of the Simon Necronomicon, they talk about how their offices were haunted by phenomena and all these evil things that attended, and that wasn't even, the real Necronomicon. Is there no concern over potential?
I'd like to address this. As for the Las Vegas case, they later dropped that. There was a ploy by the prosecutor's office to try to find some sort of evidence for the case that wasn't there. And from what I've heard from the people who worked on the Simon Necronomicon, all of that was, they made up a lot of that stuff about paranormal phenomenon. But there are cases, like there were the vampire killers a few years ago, in which the Necronomicon, in which the Necronomicon was involved. There was a case out in Santa Monica. I'm not sure if that's last year or the year before. So that does have the tendency to move people to commit these horrible acts. And
When you say involved, how do you mean?
Involved, well, what I look for is not only was the Necronomicon, we know the Necronomicon was of interest to these people, but they seem to have some sort of objective, like opening the gates of hell, gaining powers, all sorts of weird crap like that.
Right, right. It's just my concern there is that in too many cases, a Necronomicon was found in the house. Who says there's any connection?
Well, I'm wary of that too, but I think there are cases in which this does. I mean, there is a definite linkage there.
And again, there's always going to be a fruitcake who takes anything.
One thing I was wondering about, as we all know, Lovecraft spent years a pupil of Aleister Crowley. Do you think you might have gotten the book during that time?
Oh, gosh.
No, I think what you're referring to is...
It was on the internet.
He was a consort of Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
So, you know, who knows?
No, this is completely bogus.
I agree.
So how can you carry on this farce and deceive these people?
I'm sorry, sir?
How can you carry on this farce and deceive these people? It's false. We all know that.
Well, we all thought that until...
No, we know that.
I'm sorry, sir.
This is all play pretend. The problem is you're preaching evil here. You're spreading evil.
Well, I'm not preaching anything. I'm a professor of American literature,
Well,
and this relates to one of my primary
You're
subjects.
teaching them. You're teaching evil. You're
Very
spreading. You're talking about false gods.
I'm very well. Are there any other questions? In the back.
You haven't answered my question. My question is, why are you doing this?
Sir, who the hell are you?
I am Reverend Jonathan Thaddeus Madden, South Barrington, Rhode Island. I run the First Congregation of the Lamb. Let me read. I saw a beast coming out of the sea. He had 10 horns and 7 heads, and 10 crowns on his horns, and each head had a
Know
blasphemous
that he has
name.
slept death's dream for ages unnumbered. He
No.
will slumber
Do you know what the
before
blasphemous name is? The blasphemous name.
What
There will
is
be a
the
second
blasphemous
beast,
name?
and he has a name. He has a name. And I'm sure all of you have heard this.
Sir, can I ask you to sit down?
Revelation 1, just let me read something. No, I'm going to pray for you, though. I'm going to pray for you, and I'm going to ask everyone in here to bow your head, and please pray for this poor, misguided, mistaken soul and his cohorts, or peers, as he calls them.
Could you make a quick prayer and sit down?
Specifically, it's gentlemen. Please, please, join hands. And this will have a thought.
I'm sorry.
Dear Jesus,
No. Do you have a counter prayer?
Mine.
You got some. You've got the, Kanda Estrada Amandas Nicto. Das Fradas Kanda, Amadas Kanda. Yeah, young Soto, he's in here. Das Fradas Kanda. Kanda Estrada.
What's happening? Should you be reading that out loud?
The man of Delaware is this. Dean.
Frankly, I really don't know what to say.
No! Oh, shit! Shit! No! They got the gun away. No! Dead and shit!
I got the shot Daniel Harms. Another murder because of the Necronomicon. What do you say? Any comments or film on that? Is there a doctor?
We've got an EMT.
Go finish him off. This is our one opportunity. No one will suspect
The hotel
us.
has asked us to clear the room. We get out of here, it's our opportunity to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can square you away. Congratulations, you're in the ambulance. Is there anyone you want us to contact?
You have been, the police have arrived.